live everywhere. Alexa, turn it off. Yes, God. Okay, you can hear me. Good, good, good. Happy Monday. I trust that everyone is having a beautiful start to your day. My first thought is that I was highly coachable, not sure what shifted. Okay, peace. Good morning, Alto Sounds. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for liking the live over on TikTok. I appreciate you, low key Lisa, if that's how you pronounce your name. Thank you, everyone, for taking a few moments to chat with me this morning. So, I want to talk about the concept of coachability because I find that there is a strong correlation with your ability to be coached and your abundance and the prosperity that you experience in the world. And so it is a sign of high intelligence. It's also a sign of emotional intelligence to not always need to be right, not always need to respond with I know, not always need to become defensive when you receive some type of feedback or constructive criticism. Yes, thank you for liking the live TikTok. Yes, I see you, Makisha, over in the Quantum Prayer Circle. The Quantum Prayer Circle notifications are jumping off in the morning. I love the community because it's just amazing. So, anyways, back to coachability. So, being able to be coachable allows you to open yourself up to the infinite possibilities that God has for your life and that you can have for other people as well. So being willing to be coachable is very effective, and it's a way to not close yourself off and not restrict yourself. Okay, Instagram. Okay, Instagram. And so I want to talk about that because I have found that with my own personal life, the times when I start to feel like I know everything and nobody can't tell me anything are quickly followed by falling, right? The fall from grace and kind of things falling apart. Happy Monday. But when I am open and when I am available and when I can receive instruction, when I can receive wisdom, when I can receive guidance, I tend to find myself in more prosperous areas in life. And when I'm talking about coachability, it's not even necessarily constant learning process, right? Exactly, Alto Sounds. And so not even just needing to listen to Happy Monday, hey yes God family over on TikTok. Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate the love. But not only listening to other people, but listening to instruction from God. So when I talk about coachability, I'm actually asking us to consider our ego, and I'm asking us to consider our defensiveness when we receive information that challenges how we think things are supposed to go. Because the human mind, the ego loves to be in control. It loves to think it's in control, even though it's never really in control. The only thing that it's doing is being part of a co-creative process with the divine. So opening yourself up to coachability means that you are willing to be quiet. You are willing to listen to other people. You are willing to not become defensive. You are willing to reflect on yourself. Yes, TikTok. Yes, God. My Meg Yes God page over on TikTok has already got me over 1K likes. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Happy Monday, Chastity. Is it yes, Chastity, not Charity? Yes, God. And so being willing to be coachable is so important because we don't want to limit the God that lives within us. Okay. Regardless of where your background is, whether you're coming from church, whether you're coming from, whatever religious background that you're coming from, you may have a unhealthy relationship with direction and guidance because unfortunately a lot of us have experienced direction and guidance in an oppressive way, in a way that wants to control us, in a way that wants to manipulate us, and in a way that wants to get something out of us. However, it's possible for us to understand that being coachable and being willing to accept guidance is actually the path to our prosperity. It's the path to our abundance, and it's the path to understanding what our divine purpose is in life for this particular season. So being willing to be coachable means that you are open, you are surrendered, you are releasing the need to be in control, even if it's control of your own understanding. Sometimes you don't need to understand. A lot of times you don't need to understand. And especially if you are attempting, if your intention is to live a God led life, if your intention is to live in the fullness and be of service to God on this earth, you must be coachable and you must be willing to follow nudges and follow instincts and follow directions that may not make sense to your logical ego mind. Yes, God. And by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Megan. I'm the CEO and founder of Yes God Wellness, which is a holistic health brand dedicated to the mind, body, and spirit connection. Also dedicated to helping you remember that you are already one with God. You don't need to seek and search anything outside of yourself. All the answers, all the insight, all the perspectives that you need are already within you. And sometimes what that means is removing the distractions from the outside world, not spending so much time concerned about what other people are thinking, concerned about what other people are doing, concerned about what other people are talking about, concerned about how other people are viewing us. Learning this now, thank you for confirming. Yes, yes, God. And so it can be difficult, right? It can be challenging when we are so used to a certain way of being, a certain way of thinking, a certain understanding about life, and then someone comes along to challenge that. I know that my content is can be very challenging to people, especially religious people, especially Christians who are used to having a certain set of rules that they must follow and that they must be obedient to, and if they're not, they're going to go to hell and all this other stuff, right? Thank God for sending this message as confirmation. Yes, God. Yes. And so it's important to have grace with ourselves and to be compassionate with ourselves as we are on this journey to really unlearning all of the things that the world has tried to input in us to keep us small, to keep us controlled, to keep us productive in terms of working for someone else's dream. Thank you for continuing to like the live TikTok. I appreciate you. And so being willing to be flexible, right? I've heard psychologists and psychiatrists talk about the fact that a sign of a healthy personality is flexibility. It's a willingness to move and bend and not be so rigid and so straight and so resolute about what you think is a fact, what is not, what is. This is black and white. Nothing is black and white, okay? Everything is subject to change. Circumstances are always subject to change. And one of the perspectives that can be challenging to people is that the best way to change the circumstances of your life is to change your inner state, because we've been trained and conditioned that the way that we change the circumstances of our life is by our actions, is by doing something different. And yes, that may be partly true, but even more true, and what's even a bigger impact is to not just change our actions, but to change our being. Who are we being as we're taking these actions? And the way that I like to kind of differentiate is, are we being someone who is already fulfilled, already happy, already grateful, already joyful, already prosperous and abundant? Are we understanding that about ourselves? Or are we doing things because we're looking to experience those things? We don't need to wait for things to be perfect to be grateful. We can be grateful now, and we should be grateful now if we want to continue to magnetize things to us to be grateful for. Alignment with love and light and abundance. Yes, God. Yes. And so I do have a community called the Quantum Prayer Circle. It's a school community. It is amazing. This is exactly what we're doing inside the community. We are remembering that we already have access to all of the feelings that we think the circumstances are going to be able to give us. We think that once this happens, I'll be happy. Once this happens, I'll feel like I'm worthy. Once this happens, it'll prove to me that I'm enough. Once that happens, it'll show me that I'm worthy of love. And what my work is about is getting you to remember and identify with that version of yourself right now. Because when you can identify with that version of yourself right now, your circumstances begin to have supernatural shifts and changes. Okay. We try to make things happen, and it's exhausting. Why would we want to make something happen when God can go like that and have it happen just because we have aligned ourselves with with those circumstances? Yes, I was literally reading about this today. It's stewardship. If you cannot, yes, if you cannot manage the small amount that you have now, then how can you manage more? Exactly. Exactly. And so, exactly. When we are looking for more, when we're looking for more money, when we're looking for, this person to love me or that person to be with me or this particular this or that, we are thinking that that outcome is going to give us a certain emotional state. you know, Now I can feel relief. Now I can feel love. Now I can feel joy. Now I can feel happiness. And the way that it works energetically is you have to be willing to feel those things first, because there are so many people in this world who have the things, right? They have the marriage, they have the money, they have the lifestyle, they have the car, but guess what they don't have? They don't have the joy, they don't have the peace, they don't have the gratitude, they don't have the perspective that allows them to be content and fulfilled with, even with all the material. So we kind of have it backwards. We kind of have it in a way where I talk to my clients about this, about opposite day, right? Sometimes we need to think of everything in terms of opposite, because we know that we have been trained and programmed to prioritize and put things on a pedestal that are outside of us. And we look to those things outside of us to make us feel a certain way. Whole time we have the God-given power, the God-given agency to feel that way now. I can be grateful right now. I can be happy right now. I can be expectant right now. I can be celebrating myself right now. Not when I make a certain amount per year, not when I see a certain number in the bank account, not once I get married, not once I have this car, not once I have this purse. The joy that I have, this world didn't give it to me. Yes, exactly. Exactly, exactly, exactly. So understanding that being in the right place at the right time is a state of mind. Okay. And so I'm doing a workshop on this next weekend on 2/22. Would love to have you in the workshop. There is an investment for the workshop. Unless you're in the Quantum Prayer Circle, the workshop is a part of our community. And I'm going to be talking about so my work is around identity, right? Teaching and helping folks to remember that your identity is the source of your circumstances. Your circumstances are not the source of your identity. Okay? Exactly. We cannot rely on earthly validations. What are your honest opinions on tarot? I think tarot is a tool just like anything else. I think tarot has as much credence as we give it. Just like astrology, just like any spiritual tool, right? I'm not against any of those things. I think that there's a time and a place and a season for everything. And if that's something that helps you, if that's something that helps you hear a message, or helps you to remember who you are, then I'm all for it. But I don't think we should rely on tarot. I don't think we should rely on astrology. I don't think we should rely on anything other than the divinity that lives within us. I think it's important to be in proximity to people and energy and places that remind us of our divinity. I think it's important for us to remove ourselves from proximity from anything that is making us feel that we're not worthy, perfect, whole, and enough. Sowing to the spirit, not the flesh. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Hey, Laura. Happy Monday. And so we go live every single day inside of the Quantum Prayer Circle. And this is what we're doing. We are anchoring back in. We are anchoring back into the gratitude. We are anchoring back into the perspective that everything is always working out. We're anchoring back into the knowing that even if the circumstances are really, really crappy right now, and I don't know how this is going to work, and I don't know how I'm going to get myself out of this, I am still going to have the faith the size of a mustard seed that God can do anything, and that I am open, available, and willing to be coached. Because the thing is, God is not always going to just drop the answer in your lap. Sometimes, a lot of times, God drops people in your lap. God drops opportunities in your lap. It may be a YouTube video. It may be an Instagram or a TikTok live where Megan from Yes God Wellness is dropping seeds in your consciousness. It may be a community. It may be a coaching container. It may be a church. It may be a mosque. It could be all different things. May I ask you why? I agree personally, but I want to understand your perception. I'm not sure what you're asking me why about. Happy Monday. Okay, so this is why it's so important to be coachable, because you have to be willing to be flexible in your understanding, and you have to be willing to see God in everything. Understand that, and Flores Scovel Shin talks about this, every man is a link on the chain of my good. I'm going to say that one more time. Every man is a link on the chain of my good. Whether that person betrayed me, whether that person loved me, whether that person brings out enthusiasm in me, whether they bring out feelings of not enoughness in me, they are still a link on the chain to my good, because everything that I experience is of service to me. And everything that I do, my intention is for it to be of service to others. Why should you not rely on the things because they change? Why would you rely on something that blows in the wind? Why would you rely on sand for your foundation? Your foundation is a part of you. Your foundation cannot be found in anything else. Why would I give my power away to a circumstance that I know life is going to change? Has anybody in this life had life stay exactly the same their whole entire lives? No. It's constantly changing. That is the one thing that you can count on about life, is that it is going to change. That's the one constant about life. Nothing else is constant and the same. So why would I base credence, importance, value, worth, esteem, love in my circumstances? I'm not going to do that, because I'm setting myself up to not be able to stay stable in myself, in my identity, in knowing that I'm already worthy, perfect, whole, and enough because I exist. I was ill overnight, and yet I woke up with my mind said, I'm awake in my best possible timeline. Yes, this is God's day, and the only good enters. I love myself so hard for being in high altitude. Yes, 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 Lisa. And I am seeing you well, and I am seeing you energetic, and I am seeing you feeling excited and grateful and enthusiastic about this day. If there is nothing of value on earth, we would not be made to repeatedly return. Everything is value. God is in everything. Thank you for continuing to like the live. Yes, God. God is in everything, okay? God is in every single thing. Every single thing is here to be of service to us. All right? So, and what we have to remember as well, because we've been trained to look for instant gratification, instant. If we don't see something right away, then we're like, oh no, it's not working. Oh no, it's not for me. Oh, it's not going to happen. And we have to be willing to be patient. Okay. So understanding that shifting your identity is a process. It happens in phases. It doesn't necessarily just happen overnight. Okay. There is a lag time between who you proclaim yourself to be and your circumstances now matching that identity. And we can't get weary and frustrated and give up in that lag time. We can't go back to the version of ourselves that's complaining, that's not happy, that's waiting for the relationship to fulfill them, that's waiting for the money to fulfill them. We really don't understand how powerful we are, y'all. We literally are aspects of God representing ourselves as human beings, forgetting who it is that we are. And life is here to help us remember who it is that we are. let's see, we were trained to say we were not perfect. Yes, we were trained to, exactly, we were trained to say we were sinners, right? And that was through a very oppressive religion, right? What's an example of something that lasts? The only, God lasts. God lasts. Energy lasts. Energy cannot be destroyed. God cannot be destroyed. Even when the human body is gone, even when I'm dead and gone, y'all, my energy will still be here. My energy will still be here. And my energy has brought forth work. My energy has brought forth content. My energy will have brought forth books and all types of amazing things. I'm open to the infinite possibilities of what my energy will create. Yes, earthly caricatures are transient, but the spiritual values are eternal. Exactly. Exactly. So understanding and knowing that we don't need to look for our validation or our confirmation in our circumstances. Okay? Even though we have been trained to do that. We have been trained that our circumstances are a result of our hard work and our labor. What if you were paid well to just be yourself? Excuse me. A big part of also having success, right? Because there's another thing too, is that a lot of religions have tried to convince us that it is pious to be poor, that it is some way noble to not have a lot, and that we shouldn't be materialistic. Okay. And I have nothing against material. I have nothing against luxury. I have nothing against all of these things, right? I want all of the great, amazing, wonderful things. And you should too. You have a right to that. The issue becomes when you have the order wrong, when you put your materials over your inner state, okay? Inner state comes first, materials come second, because your inner state is what is with you all day long. Your inner state is what magnetizes the materials to you. Okay. There's a lot of people who have not prioritized their inner state. And again, they have the materials, but their inner state is no bueno. They're not happy. They're complaining. They're miserable. People don't like spending time around them. They are an energy drain. Okay. Nobody wants to be around that. Nobody wants to be surrounded by negative energy. I don't care if we're in the lap of luxury, because guess what? You can ruin a wonderful, luxurious vacation by being with someone who is complaining and talking shit the whole time, versus being at a park for free with someone who has great positive energy. You will have a better time in a public park with someone with a high vibration than you will on a luxury vacation with someone who has a low vibration. Okay? So we have to understand that the material is not what makes you happy. Your internal state is what makes you happy. You cannot look to materials to give you that. The ability to excuse me. The ability to discern is one that isn't transferable. Yes, this is handicapped if you rely on externals. Exactly. 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 It's why some celebrities are unhappy. Exactly. Exactly. Because the priority, the order is flipped. Okay. And so what I teach as a part of my framework with my clients and with my coaching students is that um we prioritize the nudges that come through our intuition and our heart over the ego, because the thing about the ego and the mind is that it always wants to be in control. It doesn't want to be coachable at all. Okay, and that's the topic of this live today, is being willing to be coachable, being willing to be open to something different than what you already know. So when you're willing to be coachable, it means that you're open to an idea that pops in your mind that excites you, right? Even though you witness your mind come in and try to talk you out of it. Oh, well, why would you do that? You can't do that. You're not qualified to do that. Why would anybody listen to you? You're too old. You're too young. You're too this. You're too that. You're not enough this. You're not enough that. And I was listening to something recently that talked about how the English language trains us with a negative mindset because of the use of the words I am. So in other languages, right? So for example, in English, right, we say things like I am happy, I am sad, I am angry, I am poor, I am whatever, right? We actually claim it as an identity. Versus if you translate other languages, it sounds more like anger is moving through me. I am experiencing happiness, right? They actually allow the concept of the emotional state to be exactly that, an emotional state, not an identity. Let's see. Oh, child, this is so good. I didn't think about the ego and the mind. Wow, thank you. You're so welcome. Yes. So the ego mind, right, is not to be demonized, okay? Because we need the ego, we need the mind. We need our brilliance, we need our sense of humor, we need our wit, we need our charm, we need our critical thinking skills. We need those things. Those things are very important. However, those things need to have a leader. When those things have to do that and be the leader at the same time, that's where the problems come in, and that's where the suffering comes in, because the ego constantly wants to solve a problem. It constantly is trying to be in solution mode. But we have to remember that there really is no problem because God has already handled all our problems. The only thing the ego mind is here for is to be of service to God, not to try and lead God, not to try and tell God that this is how it should be and that's how it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen like that, then it's not happening, because that's what the ego will try to do. It gets a little ahead of itself. That is true about language. We have been hoodwinked for sure. Yes. What needs to lead the ego? The God. God needs to lead the ego. And the way that we allow God to lead the ego is by being disciplined with our awareness and our attention and our focus. And we ask God, God, I am here to be of service. I'm here for you to come through my life. I'm tired of asking you to do things for me. I'm now going to ask you to do things through me. I'm not asking for prosperity for me. I'm asking for prosperity to flow through me. Okay? So the way that we don't let the ego lead is we understand that we are vessels, we are channels. All right. We don't allow circumstances to be the source. We understand that God is the source and that we are channels for God to come through. Okay. We are not receptacles. We are not waiting for God to give us something. We are allowing God to move through us. We are allowing gratitude to move through us. We are allowing prosperity to move through us. We are allowing joy to move through us. We are allowing happiness to move through us. We are allowing respect to move through us. Okay. And so this allows us again to be coachable, because when we open this up and when we ask God, hey, I'm willing, I'm aware that first of all, I'm aware. That's the first step, is awareness. Okay. Understanding that there is something more for our lives than just settling, for just having a mediocre existence. Because I promise you, if you have settled for a mediocre existence, just like everything else in life, that is going to change. You are going to find yourself at some point or another with your back against the proverbial wall. And when you find your back against the wall, you are going to surrender, because you are going to have no choice. So what I am encouraging and what I am shining my big bright light in the world is to encourage you to surrender now. Don't wait until your back is against the wall. Don't wait until you have a health condition. Don't wait until you don't have any money and you can't pay your bills. Don't wait until those things happen. Because I promise you, when you find yourself in those circumstances, you are going to surrender. Don't let your ego allow you to think that you don't need anyone and nobody can tell you nothing and that you're always right and that you have all the answers, because you don't. Holy Spirit has taught me that mediocrity is demonic. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it is. And it's a sin. It is a sin. And when you learn how to properly interpret and perceive the Bible, you will understand that the Bible is a book about the psyche. The Bible is a psychological book, okay? The Bible is a psychological book about states of consciousness. Yes, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you for liking the live Instagram. Okay, so being willing to be coachable, being willing to understand that I am a channel. And because I am an open, clear channel, I must be willing to let go of my resentment. I must be willing to let go of my rigid belief systems. I must be willing to let go of not being willing to invest in myself. Instead of making sure that my hair and my nails and this is done every 2 weeks, I'm going to make sure that I am investing in my community, making sure that I am investing in my inner state. Okay? We'd love to have you in the Quantum Prayer Circle. Even if you're not in the Quantum Prayer Circle, be sure to get around people who are reminding you of your divinity and not telling you and giving you the message that you're not enough and that you need something else to happen to be enough. Okay, we go live every single day inside the Quantum Prayer Circle. Every single day you wake up to a new affirmative prayer. Every single week we have a new self-concept rampage. There's a 7-day identity reset. There's courses on forgiveness. There's a ton of information and value in there. We do group assumption sessions where we all come together, we use our imagination, and we hold the vision for one another. Blessings, Shantae. Happy Monday. We have Quantum Prayer Circle family members right here in these lives. Okay. And God is moving. God is moving and shifting things for us rapidly. Tell them to align their algorithm. That's the code, sister. Yes. 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 Aligning your inner algorithm, right? Because just like on Instagram, whatever it is that you are engaging and interacting with, you're going to see more of that. It's the same thing with life. Whatever you're giving it your attention to, whatever you're very passionate about, whatever you're very upset about, you are going to start to see more of that. Okay? I'm not sure why anybody would be trying to get in my live right now. I need you to read the room, boo-boo. Read the room, honey. Okay? And if you did want to come in the room, I would need you to have the respect of speaking to me first and greeting me. Yes, God. Yes, it's an inner algorithm. We all have an inner algorithm. Okay? So curating that algorithm, that is what the Quantum Prayer Circle is about. I am so happy and grateful that I got to wake up today. I am so happy and grateful that I have a roof over my head. I am so happy and grateful that there is breath moving through my lungs and I didn't have to earn that. I didn't have to buy that. I am so happy and grateful that my heart is still beating. I am so happy and grateful that my children have safe transportation to school and that I have an app and I can see where the bus is so I can know when I need to leave the house to get them to the bus stop. I am so happy and grateful that I have working Wi-Fi in my house, that I can spread this good news to people far and wide. I am so happy and grateful for this beautiful day. I'm so happy and grateful for the beautiful client coaching sessions I'm going to have today. I'm so happy and grateful for the good news that I'm going to receive in my inbox. I'm so happy and grateful for the deposits that are coming. I'm so happy and grateful for the new Quantum Prayer Circle members that are coming in. I'm so happy and grateful for the retreat in Bali that's going to be amazing and transformative, October 20th through 26th. So go ahead and sign up. I'm so happy and grateful that I have running water. I'm like, we should literally be walking around reciting all the things that we're happy and grateful for. Because when we do that, instead of complaining, we start to see more and more things to be happy and grateful for. That is the inner algorithm, and that is the hack, is gratitude. Okay, I am so happy and grateful that my child was born healthy. I am so happy and grateful that I can hear. I'm so happy and grateful that I can see. I'm so happy and grateful that I am in my right mind. Can you repeat the idea of inner algorithm? Sorry, lost it midway. Yeah, so this is what I'm embodying it right now. Whatever you're focusing on, whatever you're giving your attention to, you are going to see more of that, just like these platforms. You notice when you start engaging with a particular type of content, you start seeing more of it, right? It's the same thing, okay? Yes, retreat in Bali. Check out the link in my bio. We are going to Bali, y'all. We are doing an entire identity recalibration retreat. It is going to be amazing. There are still some early bird slots available. So go ahead and check out the link in my bio. You only need to put down 25%, and then you have up until August to pay it off. And it's interest free. So please check that out. We would love to have you. Thank you, Nyla, for continuing to like this live over on TikTok. So the inner algorithm, right? Being coachable, right? Being willing to accept that you're not always right. Being willing to accept that you don't have to have it all figured out. Being willing to not be defensive when someone gives you some feedback. Being willing to be open to a new way to perceive life. Okay? I am so happy and grateful that I get to be part of an amazing community. I'm so happy and grateful that I realize that I don't have to have the burden and the exhaustion of trying to figure life out and trying to do things to get a certain result. I am so happy and grateful that I'm open and available to the ways that God leads me and shows me what's next. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm willing to take the next step without knowing the entire route. It's like buying a new car and suddenly noticing all the other cars like it. Yes, when we are noticing what we are grateful for, there becomes more to be grateful for. Exactly. I love you, sister. Hope to meet you one day. I love you too. A form of healthy restraint is important so we don't act on impulse. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes. So I have to get into the rest of my day, but I just want to share this last nugget with you. Nothing that you can do, nothing that you have done, nothing that you haven't done or are not doing has any bearing on what your true identity is. Your identity is divine. Your identity is whole. Your identity is perfect. Your identity is worthy. Your identity is enough. Just because you exist as a human being. There is nothing else that can sway that. You are responsible for co-creating with God the type of experience you have in this life through what you are focusing on, through being willing to be an open channel, through being willing to be coachable, through being willing to be flexible in your perspective, to being willing to take accountability and say, I was wrong, to being willing to apologize to other people and yourself. Okay, so remember, trees, all we got to do to understand how we should be being is looking outside at trees. Trees go like this in the wind. Okay? This is what we should be doing. We should be flexible, open, movable. Okay? Yet grounded. Yet standing firm. Not able to be shaken and stirred by the circumstances of life. When there's storms coming and the wind is blowing and the snow is coming and the rain is coming, guess what those trees are doing? They're standing firm because they are rooted firmly and they know their identity. You know that trees grow from the top and the bottom at the same time? Yes, God. All right? Yes. So, again, would love to have you in the Quantum Prayer Circle. We're doing the Right Place, Right Time masterclass next Sunday. We're talking about the different phases of identity, which are stabilization, orientation, embodiment, expression, and then sustainability. Okay. And we are correlating those to the season. So this masterclass is happening right when the true new year is happening, which is the spring equinox. Okay. Right now is a time of hibernation. Okay, we should not be trying to start a whole bunch of new things right now unless they were already planted in us before. Yes, God, I'm so thankful God aligned me with you. I'd be speaking the same thing about the trees. Yes, growing from the top and the bottom and understanding that the bottom is the most important. The foundation is the most important. Don't look to the circumstances to tell you who you are. You get to tell circumstances what they are because I am the person that is aligned with these circumstances. Okay, I am one with God. I am good, very good, and there is no ungood in me. Yes, God. If you're interested in checking these lives out, they do live on my Instagram page. They will also be posted on my Yes God Wellness page. My YouTube is called Yes God Wellness. I also have a podcast, the Yes Godcast. Feel free to go over there to begin reprogramming that ego mind. We have to train the mind. The mind is like a dog. It has to be trained. We can't be letting it use the bathroom in the house and run all over and act crazy. We have to train it. You do what I say. I don't do what you say. Okay? Hibernating is a wonderful thing. Yes. Looking to nature. Yes, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope the sound is well. I have my new microphones. So, and I recorded the new prayers for today and the self-concept rampage with the new microphone. So thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you today. Yes, my podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts is called the Yes Godcast. YesGodcast. The Yes Godcast. Okay, so you can go ahead over there and on my YouTube page and listen to those on repeat. Again, inside the Quantum Prayer Circle, every single day there's a new prayer, there's a new self-concept rampage every week. We listen to those on repeat. We meet every single day inside of the community live at noon. And so I hope to see you there and hope to see you everywhere. I trust you're going to have an amazing, wonderful, fantastic, incredible, prosperous, joy-filled, miracle-filled, blessed day. And it is so. Yes, God.